Hello everyone, this is CW here, back again with a video, and today for the beginning, we are going to discuss my prediction on who's going to win between the season premiere of Death Battles 2026, Ichigo Kurosase versus Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho. Not gonna lie, I did not expect this to come as the season premiere. It was heavily hinted and confirmed that Ichigo was in the fight for the ending of the sneak peek of Ash vs. Yugi, but again, I did not expect for this to be the first episode to start it off. And what stinks though, that I will say right away, I do not think I'll be able to watch it till late at night because it literally debuts on Super Bowl 60. So that's like a family holiday for us, so I expect to cook all day and all, and we'll probably try to record it later at night. But either way, this is still an exciting episode, and I'm gonna try to keep this very, very short. Hopefully 10 minutes or 20 minutes at best, try to record it, but I think this is going to be an Ichigo stop. So let's just dive into the episode as we discuss on three categories. So what do I think is going to be the main categories? Well, like I said, three. Cosmology, which is going to depend on the stats. Fighting, how they are fighting in the abilities method. And most importantly, their soul and stamina. And how their spirit and reishi will outlast each other and all, based on the prolonged fight. So let's just dive into cosmology. So, yeah. I'm going to say, without a doubt, this is definitely going to Ichigo, as the Bleach cosmology is very confusing, but at the end, you'll probably understand. So, this is going to start off on Bleach cosmology, all in Japanese, but basically, it's from the author, as you can see from the Bleach Can't Fear Your Own World. It basically explains how the three worlds, Waco Mundo, the human world, and the Soul Society, are all basically described as separate realms of the thing, and how each of them, all of them, are basically connected to the world. As you can see here from the Genkata, which is basically, I'm going to explain, it's like connecting all three of them, which is explained in the Thousand Year Blood World arc. The realms are considered either universal and planetary, which is from, as you can see here from the novels and all, that controls the universal flow, and the Soul King connects them. As you can, and it further explains, in the Soul Society is linked to them, and all, with its conduct. It is very confusing, but I'll explain later how to simplify it. But basically, this is, well, even if you exclude it from the Thousand Year Blood, it has been explained far before in like the early volumes 1 through 25, especially 8 or 9, I believe, during Uryu's challenge of Ichigo. How Rukia basically explains how the world is connected to like the hollows and all, and it will collapse. Even low scale power like Khan is able to, end quote, kick a ball to a decent galaxy. And with Hensel Mungo, again, is separate between dimensions and all. It is very confusing, Alex. But how does Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho cosmology compare? Well, ideally planetary. Like, there's not the downside of like Yu Yu Hakusho in its short life is that it does not explain its world, only explain it between the normal world, the astral world, the heaven world, and the demon world. And again, each of them explain how each one is like planetary, which is confirmed in Sasuke for Hiei years ago, that the realm threats can destroy planets and all. And this is minus explaining about hell from the world, and when Yuha was going to destroy Hensel Milgo, the Soul Society, and the Soul Society all together. Minus hell, which is apparently the next confirmed hell arc is going to, even though the movie wasn't canon, like it's getting its own version of the adaptation or remake from Kubo's perspective in the one shot. So it's highly hinted at that after the 1,000-Year Blood War, we're gonna go. Kubo's gonna return with the Hellhawks, focusing on Ichigo's son and all. And again, minus Fortnite. But the reason why it's one-sided with Cosmology and all, the best way I can compare the Ichigo's world is basically Norse mythology, the Yusuke, or the Tree of Life that connects all the realms. Ichigo Bleach's cosmology is kind of similar to that, where all the realms are like separate planes of existence, but all connect to that Grintana, which is similar to the Tree of Life. Yu Yu Hakusho has not have that type of cosmology, and again, the raw power that Ichigo show of speed and all, even before it's going to show. So this is Ichigo destroying a mountain while Aizen had it the Hokyoku, and Yusuke is, with speed and all, is impressive if Yusuke can't able to match Yami or Yoma to make that lost blast that could destroy planets, and Kihei was not able to react. Well, Yusuke was able to use the spirit gun to basically deflect the light, as you can see from the top right, which is confirmed light speed. However, it doesn't matter with speed and straight because, again, cosmology, Ichigo can not only defeat the stats of it because of him being powerful and all and affecting the realms, but also, as you can see here, early on, Sero has been confirmed to, especially in the Ichigo preview spoilers, that it is a light beam attack, as he was able to deflect it the same way, and Uryu is able to confirm it when he rushed on. And this is without counting the video games and mobile games, such as Bleach, with the Soul Sound with 10 anniversary, where he gets special abilities like unleashing, like making paralyzed enemies and all, and able to destroy clouds like megatons and all. And this is without mentioning Rukia's 10th anniversary, where her special move is able to freeze the whole Earth, as you can see here. And, also freeze enemies and revive allies when using the ultimate. But the point is, no matter what in cosmology, even if you down, say, universal or star level for, like, upscale it with Yusuke and all, Ichigo could still do the same thing and is multiplied 3 times, so regular form. So, for example, if Yusuke is able to destroy, the max is able to threaten the Demon World, which is 1 planet, where Ichigo fought Yuha at the end of the 1,000-Year War and was going to destroy all 3 realms, which, if you count as planetary, that is still low scale, triple the size level of what Yusuke could do. So overall, it goes to Ichigo. Fighting now is interesting. Both of them are basically very skilled and sometimes lucky individuals who can easily use their quick wit and adapt on a fight. For Ichigo, despite him being, as you can see, in the top 30, was able to be in the top 25 of his IQ. He still does pretty well in a genius when it comes adapting fighting, whether it was his fight against Kenpachi, Byakuya, Aizen, Rinjao, Yuwa. Like, so many times he can adapt fight and quick on the fly and all. But similar to Yusuke, who once again was able to use his mirrors to defeat Hihei by, again, deflecting the mirrors. Like, both, I still could consider this a tie, but leaning over Yusuke because of him being the brawler and all, like, better hand-to-hand combat and all. And even though Ichigo is the same thing, and his best friend taught him karate and was nationwide second place beside Broken Arm, she still admits that Ichigo was better. But I still give it Yuhei with him being a better strategist and brawler. But again, when it comes to sword fighting and all, and like having his multiple swords and like transformations that he has able to master, with Yusuke has used once, killed a guy, and never used again because he has fear, it's still I'm still leaning towards the tie, as both of them are spirited fighters and all. And overall, and I could still give it a Yusuke because of him like having 2 out 1, but still 2. But the final one is probably the nail in the coffin for Ichigo, which is going to be relying on their own soul and stamina of their energy. So, and why I am leaning again for Ichigo, even though I will admit I can't see Yusuke win, is because the difference of detail. So when Yusuke has, near the very end of the manga, basically fought in the tournament and all, he stated he fought for at least 60 hours, so over 2 days of fighting before being in the coma after the fight with Yami, or no, Yumi, the demon that he fought that made that planetary feat, and at the end was a Toma. Very impressive in all for his spirit, and not only that, was able to train where he can use his spirit gun with unlimited ammo, where even though he was limited to 3 days, was originally 4 or 5 times a day. However, Ichigo has stated that he could run on a trail mare for a week, and this was during before the Iraq card with Yuha, before Orihime was abducted, and Ichigo trying to control his hollow powers and all. And at the end of the day, again, this is before, and this is why I'm trying to say that Ichigo will win his soul and stamina, because not only his is stronger, but apparently can last longer. Because again, he stated that halfway through the manga, he was able to run on a treadmill for a week. And while it can be debatable, no breaks and all, that's still going to be longer than Yuhei. And this Yusuke can do with his 6 hours. And this is not even counting the fact that he, before his rematch with Aizen, as Dankai Ichigo, he trained with his Sangetsu world for 3,000 hours, which is stated for about 3 months, basically. And remember, he didn't pass. Yusuke, after that fight, wasn't in coma. Ichigo went on mastering his Dankai and was able to match Aizen, who had the Hokyo Q, which is basically a Infinity Gem from Marvel, and was able to overpower him and push the Hokyo 2 to its limit, where it no longer saw Aizen. Which, at the end of the day, and the results, as you see fight, I am still excited for this fight, and I am being biased still a little bit because of, again, Ichigo and Bleach got me and my brother into this anime as a whole, and it's just a cool series and all. But at the end of the day, Ichigo should ideally win this, even without scaling Fortnite. All the cosmology of Ichigo is much bigger. I would say it's probably close on par with Yu-Gi-Oh! With like the infinite multiverse, which some people believe ideally it is multiversal, which can go. And again, there are other factors to point at, where versatile range and power with Sangetsu swords and all, just having the raw power and all, having the stronger soul and better stamina to last battle. And I do think that both are, once again, equal in skills and experience of them being excellent fighters and able to overcome demons and like other enemies who have like centuries or hundreds of years of experience in battles. And Yusuke, again, is more of a strategist and a better brawler and spirit gun, but at the end of the day, his cosmology, even from the show itself, doesn't show impair to Ichigo's universe. And the spirit gun, while impressive and all, isn't going to overcome like Sangetsu with that raw power and range. So at the end of the day, and Ichigo should ideally win, even with them having the their weapons and all, Ichigo should still ideally win based on his superior power, raw power, and like abilities to outlast. It's similar. It's like put on par with like Ruby versus Maka and Deku versus Miles Morales, where like it does sound like a good fight, and ideally, the loser, which is going to be Yusuke, can ideally have some advantages to win, like depending on his spirit gun, which can atomize people. But however, when looking at Ichigo, who has fought enemies and can counter the same that type of power of abilities that Yusuke has, like the gap between it is very noticeable. Where the power and speed, even speed, could be ideally tied. Like the raw power is very noticeable, and the abilities is just so much that it counters. And again, Ichigo. This is Ichigo without going into Bankai at all, which in his other forms, which increases his chance of winning and increasing his power, speed, durability, and all. While Yusuke only has the one, and again, he has no control of it because he has a demon part that lets him in. But overall, this is going to be the end of the episode. I am very excited, and apologies this took longer as like the snowstorm has hit, and I was at my family's house helping with wooding and all, and shoveling especially. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I am excited for it. Give me your thoughts. Tell me what you like, dislike, show your opinions, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Stay awesome and enjoy your time as we wait for the premiere of season 2026. Stay awesome. Have a great January.